What is happening, everybody? It's TJ here from Dream Diecast Cars, and today I'm going to be doing a review of this 118 Porsche GT2RS made by Minichamps. Real quick, before I get into the review, I just want to say a few things. First off, I'm sorry I haven't put out a video in a while. I had one shot on this micro SD card, but it stopped working and wouldn't let me upload, so that was useless. I had to run to Costco and get a new one. And speaking of Costco, I want to remind you guys about my model car charity. It has been doing really well. Here up on the screen, I'll show you the model cars that I've picked up already. We've got a bunch of them. I think we've picked up about 40 of them already. So the charity's still open, so I'll put the link in the description to it because it is still going, and you don't have to donate a bunch of money. Only $1 or $2 would be just awesome. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to me, and now we can go right along into this review. So at the beginning, you might have heard me say that this was Minichamps Porsche GT2RS, and that was not a mistake. Minichamps did make a 118 Porsche GT2RS. It's just not as well known. The reason for that is because these things had limited production. Though this model came out a while before AutoArt's relatively new Porsche GT2RS, it is pretty rare. And I think it's pretty awesome how rare this model car is. However, that rarity does come at a huge price. AutoArt's GT2RS will drain you about $160. However, if you can find one of these, you'll be out about $260. That is definitely something to keep in mind during today's video. So now we can get into the details, and I'm sure one of the first things that you'll notice is how this license plate is missing. And I have no idea how it happened, because this model car is pretty sheltered. It's always in its case and stuff, and that's pretty bad quality that it fell off so easily. Next, you'll notice the lights, which are sculpted perfectly. All the details on the inside are just bang on. The coloring is perfect, and the bulbs are perfectly shaped to what they would be on the real car. You'll also notice the nice carbon fiber finishing on the hood. Then when you look in the middle, you'll see this Porsche badge, which is done perfectly, and a grille down here, which looks pretty nice. The lower intake on the front of this model also looks bang on to the real one. Now we can move along to the side of this diecast car, where the first thing you'll notice are the wheels. Now, when you feel them, you'll notice that they are made out of a plasticky material, but I can let that slide because they look so darn good. Then in the middle, you'll see that there's a little RS lettering, which looks bang on. And you'll see that the discs do go through the calipers. However, when you try to move the wheels, they catch a lot. But that's not really a big deal because who would be like rolling this? You'll also see this GT2RS lettering, which is put on very nicely and pops out. Another thing you'll notice are the awesome carbon fiber finishings on the door mirrors. One thing that I don't like about the side of this diecast car, though, is this intake right here. It's all made out of plastic, which is okay because it looks fine, but I don't like how there's no grill right there. It just looks flat and plasticky and cheap and bad. So now onto the back of this diecast car, where you'll notice that this license plate looks very nice, as it has stayed on very well. The lights look spot on with the coloring and all the little LEDs. And this Porsche GT2RS badge, which looks very realistic, just like the other badges on this model car. Also, the wing on the back is sculpted perfectly, and it includes a little carbon fiber, which I like. Another thing that I really like on the back of this diecast car are the exhausts, which look very realistic, and though that may not sound like a very big deal, cheap exhausts can really make a diecast car look bad. Now with the back out of the way, we can move on to the trunk of this diecast car, and you'll notice that it is very hard to open, so I suggest using a door opener, and not one like this that I've been using the whole episode to like point stuff out in. This is an AutoArt door opener. I suggest using one of these more tough Kyosho door openers because the AutoArt one will bend, so you gotta kind of put it in there and pry it open. You gotta work with it a little bit. This is difficult to do. After a few prayers, you will get it open, and once you do, you can take a look at the trunk, which really isn't that exciting anyway. The detailing on the inside of the trunk does look pretty nice, but it's still a trunk, so it's not too interesting. Now we can move along to the engine, which is one part of this diecast car that I really like. Now, this being a Porsche, when you look inside, you'll notice that there is not too much to see. So you'll probably be thinking, CJ, what can you possibly like about this engine so much? Well, first off, I like this little carbon fiber piece right here, which says GT2RS Porsche in the middle. Looks very realistic and nice. But my favorite thing about the engine is the depth. The Minichamps guys clearly did not take the easy way out when doing the engine. And I know it's hard to see on camera, but it'll be a lot easier when I turn this model car upside down. The people who created this diecast car obviously wanted this engine to look spot on, and it does. Even from the bottom, you can see all the little wires and all that sort of stuff. And now, we can finally move on to the interior. When you look at the driver's side, you will see that this is a very nice model car. The steering wheel looks perfectly to how it should. All the dials in the back look very realistic with all the numbers printed out separately, and they look just great. All the vents and switches next to the steering wheel look perfect, and the pedals also look pretty good. The interior also features felt, which, let's face it, is something that we should really expect at this price. Another thing I really like about the interior is how much carbon fiber it features. Now, it doesn't go overboard, and it only has them in places that it is on the real model car, but it does feature very nice looking carbon fiber. Then when you look from the passenger's door, you'll notice the very bare center console, because this is a basically stripped down race car. You'll also notice a race timer up top, which looks very nice, some vents, and some more badges, which also look spot on. The doors also look very good with these door handles and these speakers. Okay guys, so now we can move on to the ratings. And my first rating, if you guys have not seen my videos before, is my rating without the price. No price involved. We've got all the money in the world to spend on diecast cars. Just giving a rating on what this diecast car is for what it is. So, I give this model car an A without the price because it is a very good addition to any collector's collection, and just looks great, and all the details are really good. However, when you include the $250 to $260 price tag, that rating drops to a C- or a D+, somewhere around there, because first off, the reason for that is because it has competition now. Before, it was the only one that you could buy on the market, so you were forced to buy it. And yes, that rating is still lower, much lower. It'd probably be like a C+, but it has dropped even more now that AutoArt has released their own version of this for $100 less. So that's a very good deal, and knowing AutoArt, the quality is as good and if not better. This model car will certainly not be worth the extra $100. Well guys, that'll do it for this Model Car Monday. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. I have a 3-day weekend this weekend, so I'm going to try to make a few more videos, so I have videos lined up for the next few Mondays. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you haven't yet, subscribe, and I hope to see you next week. Bye everyone.